Another year, another NBA season. A time where we can sit back, relax, and judge our team's performances. Some good and some less than stellar. Wow. Just wow. You guys are bad. So bad to the point that every time a team plays against you, it's the equivalent of a free win. The team's so bad that their own rookie is now calling them out for their own performances. It's becoming clear that a team with names like Eric Gordon, Christian Wood, Kenyon Martin, they aren't good enough to be decent, let alone be title contenders. Even if you like some of these players, Houston fans have to admit they're not getting them anywhere. If only you had a player that was an all-star that would be able to take you to the next step. Oh wait, he's in Brooklyn. My bad. For as bad as a team as the Pelicans are, they've maintained a pretty low profile as of late. The only real story coming out of New Orleans is Zion Williamson's noticeable weight gain that has the chefs in the kitchen shucking up. Guess he wouldn't be gaining so much weight if he wasn't injured most of the time. New Orleans, here's a word of advice. Trade. Get your star player some help for his sake. Please. Although knowing this team, they have a track record of letting go of players who get injured a lot. God, this is such a poverty franchise. I'm not going to bash on the Magic too much because they've been playing a lot more competitively as of late. Most of their losses were earlier in the season, so this could be due to a sluggish start. It's a very young team filled with a lot of raw potential to shake things up in the NBA. I don't expect them to make the postseason though. Give it another year. Pistons getting into physical fights with players on the court. A tale as old as time. LeBron did technically start it, but Isaiah Stewart took it to another level by running after him while his teammates were trying to restrain him. It was an ugly sequence of events. As for the rest of the season, get used to hearing that phrase being tossed around. Ugly. I don't expect them to make a ton of noise this season, so instead they should just focus on Cade Cunningham's development into a legitimate player. I swear to God, if you ruin him, I will burn your franchise to the ground. San Antonio has no star players and isn't strong in any area, but manages to be in a better position than the teams mentioned beforehand. Maybe this says a lot more about their organization or coaching than the team itself. Seriously though, I can't say I know anything about this team. They may be a bit of a wild card in my eyes, and as I don't know what they're capable of with this many unknown factors. As the season rolls along, we'll start getting a clearer picture. I'm on to you, Spurs. Another year of mediocrity in Sacktown. At least that's how it appears to be. This was supposed to be a step towards the right direction. What ended up happening was more or less the same problems arising from last year, with more appearing on the horizon. The mediocrity bug strikes again. Please relieve your fans of the sickness as they throw up in the middle of the court watching you play. The front office has taken notice and decided to ditch Luke Walton for coaching duties as a form of medicine. Get rid of all the staff you want. You know the only way you guys have a shot going anywhere is from your shitty owner selling this team. Knowing his ego though, he's probably not going to do that. At least you guys have Tyrese Halliburton. Like San Antonio, I don't know how to gauge this team. They've been keeping it close in defensive matches and have been keeping pace when it comes to high scoring battles, though in most cases they've been on the losing end. Again, still too early to comment on OKC. They're a young team with very raw potential. If a certain Kemba Walker didn't take a last minute turn to New York, then maybe this would have been a different story. Keep drafting, boys. In a year where other teams seem to be surging, the Pacers keep pacing. That's all I can say about them. They're not good and they're not bad. They're just meh. It may continue to be that way knowing that the team wants to trade Miles Turner during the season. The question is who wants to acquire him. Sixers fans may want to listen. This may be your way out of the Ben Simmons drama. The Timberwolves are looking to make some strides this season. They've had some losses for sure, but they've also had some major upsets. They're performing better than I expected them to be. Can they keep it up though? Can this team be able to break out and make some serious noise? They've got some key potential. Anthony Edwards is balling out right now. He's looking like the promising #1 overall pick that they chose back in 2020. D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, Patrick Beverley are also carrying their fair share of the load as well. Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley are a lot less flashy players, but they've been solid in their roles. I'm interested in what this team does. 2 words. Scotty Barnes. That dude is a beast. You guys lucked out when you chose him at the draft. I was not expecting him to be this good. He's looking like an early frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. That's all the nice things I can say about the Raptors. They've got some pieces that make it look like they're ready to reach the postseason, but patience is key. Focus on development over making the playoffs. The main issue I have with the Atlanta Hawks is their consistency. On the surface, they have the pieces for another playoff push like they had last year. Recently, though, questions began to arise. Trae Young, of course, has been performing well, and so have players like John Collins and Clint Capella. Cam Reddish is also coming into his own. Where they struggle is maintaining momentum. They've looked good in some games and then generally unprepared in others. I wouldn't count them out. The Braves just won a World Series in a season where nobody believed they would make the playoffs. Maybe the same thing can be true for the Hawks? Hey Memphis, have you heard of a little thing called defense? I didn't think you heard of it before you got blown out by the Timberwolves. They didn't just lose, they got dominated. In a year where you want to be competitive, you can't let teams beat you senselessly like this. Your weaknesses get exposed for the entire league to see and take notes on. The real test was for the Grizzlies to find form after a loss like that. Build that defense up for Ja Morant's sake. He's your star player, but he can't do it alone. Oh shit. There was so much going on for the Lakers this month that LeBron getting ejected was small potatoes compared to the drama going on within the organization. Beforehand, LeBron had an abdominal injury that left him questionable to return for a couple of games, leaving the unibrow in charge of carrying the team, before proceeding to get injured with a thigh bruise himself. With LeBron and Davis out, the Lakers turned their leadership over to, oh god, Westbrook. Upon hearing his name, you already know what to expect. Turnover after turnover. His style of play makes you wonder how this man won MVP back in 2017, all culminating in him getting ejected and leading his team to a 123-115 loss to the Thunder. Yeah, I don't expect Russell to stay in LA after this season. And then, of course, we got a sequel to the Malice of the Palace. LeBron got ejected and we're back to the unibrow. Lakers, keep him healthy. He's essential to maintaining your team in playoff contention. Please don't hinge your chances on Westbrook. Please. From one developing situation to the next, the Sixers have been quiet. Too quiet. I'm unsure of what the current situation is with Ben Simmons. What do they want to do with him? Keep him around or trade him off to another team? Or to China? They're playing well with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, who's been phenomenal by the way. But I can't help that this team's a volcano waiting to just erupt. They're playing well right now, but I know something is just waiting to smack them right in the face. Don't be so relaxed right now, Sixers fans. The Celtics are in a bit of a weird spot. They're performing okay, not great, not good, just okay. It's just enough for them to escape with a couple of wins. The main issue that they're facing? Injuries. A lot of key players are suffering major injuries. Jaylen Brown with a hamstring strain, Robert Williams with a knee tendinopathy, Dennis Schroeder with a left ankle sprain. The difference between the Celtics and the other injury-battered teams? Jason Tatum. He's been excelling in his role as a power forward for the team. The Celtics are going to need him if they want to see the postseason. Keep him warm for December, boys. The reigning defending NBA champs are going through somewhat of a slump period. It's not much of a big deal really, and it's actually quite smart in some cases. Get some losses out of the way first and then go into maximum overdrive as the season draws close to the end. Giannis is still performing like Giannis does and hasn't slowed down his production at all. The question becomes, can they repeat as champions? And if they can, is this the start of a potential dynasty? Cleveland is the ultimate wild card for me. After the season ended, they set out to acquire a bunch of veteran players. Ricky Rubio and Ed Davis from the Timberwolves, Jared Allen from the Nets, and Taco Fall from the Celtics. It's an interesting experiment that they have making over in the Forest City. It's one that's produced mixed results, but it's a better start than previous seasons. So that's a win in the hearts of Cavs fans everywhere. Oh, so you want to play dirty, Jokic? You don't think I saw that dirty-ass push you made on Markieff Morris? You're lucky that game wasn't played in Miami, or else you'd be begging for a suspension as punishment. As of this recording, the Nuggets have been on a losing streak, so maybe this is the punishment at the end of the day. Denver's going through some internal challenges right now. Key players are getting injured in a time where they need to be healthy, and we probably won't know the real effects of it until December. I think the Nuggets will make the playoffs again, but how far is entirely up to their health status by the time we reach there. The Trailblazers have always been that one team that should be a lot better than what their record shows. This applies to last year as well. Damian Lillard is always going to produce and is absolutely a top 5 player currently in the NBA in my eyes. Having CJ McCollum doesn't hurt either. I have no doubt they'll make the postseason, but that's when my main concern comes in. Is this team stable enough to make a playoff run? They've been one and done in previous seasons, so I'm unsure if they can accomplish that. They're more than capable enough to do so. Blazers fans are just afraid that this will be Dame's last dance in the Rose City if you catch my drift. On a side note, he would look pretty good in a Heat jersey. We're living in a world where the Clippers are in a much better position than the Lakers. Okay, maybe it's not as surprising, but they've been pretty quiet as of late. I'm not sure if it's all the Lakers drama clouding it or not, but what I have been seeing is that they've been looking pretty legit. Kawhi, when healthy, can be a massive problems for teams to play against. Paul George is also helping this team find form and steadiness. They surprised a lot of people by having an appearance in the conference finals last season. Now they aim to do more. They've got a mission. It's finals or bust this season. If they fail, expect some folks within the organization to lose their jobs. It's a gamble, but it's the path the Clippers chose. With the Lakers underperforming, the title for the best team in LA is ripe for the taking. Don't blow it. Also, can we talk about the stadium name change? Crypto.com Arena? Yeah, that just rolls off the tongue, does it?
Double fucking overtime! What the fuck, baby? New York is fucking back!
Knicks are here, baby! The Knicks are fucking here, baby!
Fresh out the garden, baby! We're taking it all the way!
We had De Blasio, we had Cuomo, it was rough shit, but we have the Knicks! The New York Knicks run New York City!
Bing bong! Tell me a little something, KD. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Let's go Knicks! Let's go Knicks! Let's go Knicks! Let's go Knicks!
Real talk, I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch! Fuck Tom Brady, yo! Fuck Tom Brady!
Where the bread at, Tom Brady? I need some bread, nigga. He owe me. Fuck Boston.
Yo, you thought Trae Young was still good? He still ain't good at Dyke, man. You're smoking on that Boston pack tonight, you right?
Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Trae Young!
Luka is a grown man. That is all. Keep him on the court and you'll always have a fighting chance, Dallas. Though my only real issue is with the head coach, Jason Kidd. Is he really the answer for all the troubles, or is he only going to introduce new ones? I worry about your playoff chances with him on the sidelines. Just make sure you don't get to face the Clippers in the playoffs again, okay? LaMelo time, baby. The Hornets have emerged as a dark horse to win the Eastern Conference. They're not taking anymore. They're out here trying to win games, and it's not close. It's convincingly so. Never would I have thought the Hornets would pose a significant threat in the NBA, but I guess in the year of our Lord and Savior 2021, anything can happen. The legitimacy of their wins will be determined by how the rest of the season goes. You're telling me that the Washington Wizards are one of the best teams in the league? The Wizards, the same ones that traded away Westbrook for a couple of scraps off the Lakers' plate? Yes, to the shock of many, the Wizards are not just good, but they are title contenders. I did not foresee this happening at all. Perhaps it's because the organization was able to build the players that the Lakers sent them in a way that the Lakers struggled to. Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, these are players that are now flourishing with the Wizards. Maybe the Lakers were holding them back from their true potential. In any case, the Wizards are looking to compete. The legacy characters are also doing their part. Bradley Beal and Rui Hachimura are powering through opponents like it was a Travis Scott concert. Players acquired from other teams are also making a name for themselves in the capital city. Aaron Holiday from the Pacers, Raul Neto from the Sixers, Daniel Gifford from the Bulls, Spencer Dinwiddie from the Nets. Exceptional performances from every one of these players. For a team that a lot of people thought that was going to be taking this season, this certainly took them by surprise, myself included. Now keep the momentum. Don't let anyone stop you now. The Jazz overperformed last season and the Clippers gave them a reality check. They're looking to go all the way this year though. The same pieces from last year are still here. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Hassan Whiteside, Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Ingles, Mike Conley. It's safe to say this team's looking to make a deep playoff run. One thing that concerns me though, Jordan Clarkson. Last year's 6th Man of the Year recipient has declined in production, and it's hurting the team in crucial games. Games against the Grizzlies, Heat, Pacers, and Magic are evident. If I'm the Jazz, I'm getting that fixed. Pronto. I knew this team was going to be good. With the number of new additions made to the Bulls, they were bound to make a change for the better. Lonzo got tired of hearing his brother's name in the news so much that he jumped ship from the Pelicans to the Bulls. He wants his respect, and he's proving it out on the court. Same goes for DeMar DeRozan. He knew the Spurs were going to get him nowhere despite all of his talents. On the Bulls, it can be argued that he's this team's MVP. Alex Caruso, another notable Laker, is now performing way better in a different city. Of course, Zach LaVine is developing into the franchise star he should be. He, Ball, DeRozan, and Caruso are the big four in Chicago. And the scary thing is, they're only getting started. I don't think we're ever going to stop hearing about this team anytime soon. I love this team. And it's not the fact that I'm a Heat fan. Okay, maybe it is. But still, how can you not love the drive that they put in every game? The sheer talent is mouth-watering. Having watched them play in person gave me a greater appreciation for not just the team, but basketball in general. It's just so fun to watch them. Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo, who in my opinion should be frontrunner for Defensive Player of the Year, and Jimmy Butler, who in my heart is this year's MVP. Those additions in the offseason only help Miami in their quest to the promised land. Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker are fitting into their roles like a glove, and while I do have my concerns like them not finishing off some games properly, they should be a nightmare for anyone to deal with. For a team that I thought was going to experience a slump period, it's surprising to see them not only succeed but improve. The Suns are the real deal. They have their feet on the gas and they'll be damned if they slow down anytime soon. It can be argued that they are the #1 team in the NBA right now, as they are on a 14-game winning streak as I'm recording this. They're scary good. Devin Booker and Chris Paul are the two threads that hold this team together. Having DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, and Jay Crowder doesn't hurt either. This team took a lot of people by surprise last year, and they're looking to go all the way this season. Good luck. Amid all the drama surrounding Kyrie Irving's anti-vaccination stance, the Nets have quietly cruised to the top of the Eastern Conference. Turns out, they don't actually need Kyrie, and they might end up putting him back on the trade block. The Nets are disappointed by the results made last year in the semifinals. They don't want to repeat this year. They invested too much. KD has to prove that he can win without the aid of Golden State. Harden has to prove that he's capable of winning a ring and delivering on the trade that the Nets made to get him. If not, we could just see this as another attempt at building a super team that will blow up in everyone's faces. It's 2021, and the Warriors not only hold the best record in the Western Conference, but also the entire league. To think that people were writing them off this year. Oh no, it's a comeback season for Golden State. You thought they were dead. Well, guess what? The second coming of the Warriors dynasty is here. Steph Curry is the leading contender for MVP. Draymond Green is wheeling and dealing, becoming the veteran voice that leads the young players to greatness. Andre Iguodala is also here for another go-around, probably to rob Curry from another Finals MVP. The core is a lot younger now. Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney. These are players that the Warriors have currently set up for the future, and their production has only been showing on the court. As scary as this team is at this moment, they're only looking to get better. Klay Thompson is slowly making his return, and only then the league will truly know pain.